Did you know some Kennedy half-dollar coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? That's right. What started as a tribute to a fallen president has become a gold mine for collectors. In today's video, we're diving into the top 3 Kennedy half-dollar coins that could turn your pocket change into treasure. First up, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is an important part of American coinage history. It was struck at 2 mints, Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small D beneath Kennedy's neck on the obverse side. While this coin may not seem particularly rare at first glance, it represents a turning point in the Kennedy half-dollar series and carries fascinating background and collectible value. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, just a few months after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Americans were still mourning, and the U.S. Mint responded quickly by replacing the Franklin half-dollar with a new design honoring JFK. The 1973 issue came nearly a decade later, during a time when the coin was still popular, but changes in its use and distribution were becoming more apparent. By 1971, all Kennedy half-dollars were composed of a copper-nickel-clad composition, having dropped the 40% silver content that had been used in earlier years. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar continues with this copper-nickel-clad design, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. These coins weigh 11.34 grams and have a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is that it was not issued for general circulation. That's right. These coins were minted exclusively for inclusion in U.S. mint sets, both from Philadelphia and Denver. In total, just over 64 million of these coins were minted, around 54 million from Denver and approximately 13 million from Philadelphia. Even though the total mintage seems large, the fact that they were not released into circulation makes them more elusive today, especially in circulated or loose condition. Collectors today look for 1973 Kennedy half-dollars in high grades, especially those with strong luster, full details, and minimal contact marks. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC are much more desirable. Most uncirculated examples are worth around $2 to $5, but certified high-grade coins can fetch $50 to over $200, depending on the grade and market demand. In rare cases, coins graded MS67 or better can reach values of $500 or more. Additionally, the proof version of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was minted in San Francisco and bears the S mint mark. These coins were included in special proof sets and are struck with sharp detail and a mirrored finish. While common in the market, deep cameo examples in perfect PR70 grade can command values above $75 to $150. There are also some minor errors and varieties known for this year. These include die cracks, off-center strikes, and a few double dies. While most are not dramatic, collectors often seek out these small varieties to complete their Kennedy half-dollar sets with a unique twist. Overall, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar may not be the rarest or most valuable coin at first glance, but it holds a special place in numismatic history. It represents a period where the half-dollar was beginning to fade from daily use, yet remained popular among collectors. Its limited release through mint sets means many people may have overlooked it in their change jars, making it a fun treasure to hunt for in old collections or estate finds. Next up, the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar is a coin that carries both historical significance and collector interest. Struck just a few years after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this coin reflects a time of national mourning, pride, and transformation in U.S. coinage. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, and the 1968 coin marks one of the most important issues in the entire series, especially for those who appreciate silver content and transitional minting practices. The 1968 Kennedy half-dollar was the first in the series to be minted exclusively at the Denver Mint, and you can identify this with the small D mint mark located just below Kennedy's neck on the obverse side. Prior to 1968, Kennedy half-dollars had been struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But in 1968, the U.S. Mint made the decision to streamline production and mint the half-dollar only in Denver for circulation, while proof coins were struck in San Francisco. In terms of composition, the 1968 Kennedy half-dollar contains 40% silver, which makes it particularly appealing to both collectors and precious metal investors. From 1965 to 1970, the U.S. Mint produced Kennedy half-dollars with a silver-clad composition. These coins consist of an outer layer of 80% silver and 20% copper, bonded to an inner core that is 79% copper and 21% silver. The total silver weight is approximately 0.1479 troy ounces. In extra fine or XF condition, a 1968 Kennedy half-dollar shows only light wear on the high points of the design, such as Kennedy's cheekbone and jawline, but retains much of its original detail and overall eye appeal. This grade is above average for circulated coins and is often desirable among casual collectors who want an affordable example that still looks sharp. The value of a 1968 Kennedy half-dollar in extra fine condition typically ranges from $6 to $8, primarily due to its silver content. However, prices can vary depending on the current spot price of silver. Since this coin contains nearly 15% of a troy ounce of silver, its base value is directly influenced by the bullion market. When silver prices rise, so too does the floor value of this coin. While most 1968 Kennedy half-dollars were struck in large numbers, over 246 million from the Denver Mint, coins in higher uncirculated grades, such as MS-65 or better, are much scarcer and can be worth $30 to over $100. Proof coins from San Francisco, especially those graded PR67 with deep cameo contrast, can sell for $40 to $150 depending on condition. Collectors also keep an eye out for certain die varieties and mint errors from the 1968 issue. These can include double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. While rare, such coins can significantly boost value if authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. The 1968 Kennedy half-dollar stands at a unique moment in U.S. coin history. It represents a time when the use of silver in circulating coins was nearing its end, and the popularity of the half-dollar was beginning to decline in daily commerce. Yet even today, the 1968 D Kennedy half-dollar remains a favorite among collectors, especially those who appreciate silver-era coins and mid-20th century American history. Next up, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is a fascinating coin that reflects the evolution of U.S. coinage during the late 20th century. While it may not be considered rare by most collectors, it still holds historical importance and can have collectible value depending on its condition and mint mark. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The public's admiration for the late president was immense, and the U.S. Mint moved quickly to design a new half-dollar bearing, Kennedy's portrait. From 1964 through 1970, many of these coins were struck in silver. However, by 1971, the U.S. Mint completely removed silver from the half-dollar for general circulation, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is struck in this copper-nickel-clad alloy, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. In 1979 Kennedy half-dollars were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while Denver coins are marked with a small D below Kennedy's neck. Proof versions of the coin were minted in San Francisco and bear an S mint mark. These proof coins were specially struck, with mirrored fields and frosted design details, and were only included in U.S. mint proof sets. The total mintage in 1979 was quite high, with over 68 million coins struck in Philadelphia, more than 15 million from Denver, and approximately 3.6 million proof coins from San Francisco. Because of this high mintage, the coin is generally common, in circulated condition and not considered rare. However, certain coins in high-grade uncirculated condition or with unique characteristics may be worth more to collectors. In average circulated condition, a 1979 Kennedy half-dollar has a value close to its face value, about 50 cents. In uncirculated condition, prices range from $2 to $5, depending on the coin's eye appeal and preservation. Higher-grade coins, especially those certified MS-65 or better by grading services like PCGS or NGC, can be worth $10 to $40 or more. Proof versions from San Francisco, especially those with deep cameo contrast in PR69 or PR70 condition, may fetch $15 to $50, though they are not considered rare unless perfectly preserved. One interesting fact about the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar is its timing. This was the same year the U.S. Mint introduced the Susan B. Anthony dollar coin, which diverted much public attention. As a result, half-dollar coins were increasingly struck for collectors rather than for use in general circulation. Even though the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar was released for circulation, its usage in everyday transactions was beginning to decline sharply by this time. There are no widely recognized major errors or rare varieties for the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar. However, minor strike-throughs, off-center strikes, or die cracks occasionally appear and can command higher premiums among error coin enthusiasts. For collectors today, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar serves as an important example of the copper-nickel era of U.S. coinage. It's an affordable entry point for those new to coin collecting and a common coin often found in older collections and U.S. mint sets from the late 1970s. While it may not be a high-value coin in most cases, its historical significance and representation of a transitional period in U.S. coin production give it lasting appeal.